才给不起，他应该还我，一定拿我的这种。
A disastrous meeting just unfolded at the White House between the Danish and Greenlandic foreign ministers and the top Trump administration officials, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and others. You saw right there the Danish foreign minister, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, running out, very angry about what just transpired at the White House. Rasmussen, the foreign minister of Denmark, spoke to the press after this horrible meeting where he said it was clear that the Trump regime wants to conquer Greenland and that they really had no interest in compromise. They kept on talking about conquering Greenland, conquering Denmark, going to war, invading, and that is unacceptable to us. Let me show you what Denmark's foreign minister Rasmussen had to say. And then I want to talk about what's now happening with European countries sending their military into Greenland right now, whether it's Germany, whether it's France opening up a consulate, Sweden sending its special forces there. Europe is on high alert, preparing for a United States invasion, and Europe is ready to go to war, if necessary, to protect Denmark and Greenland. Here's Denmark's foreign minister after the Greenland meeting saying it's clear that Trump wishes to conquer Greenland. Play this clip.
But it's not that I'm now, saying everything is solved. It's not solved. We didn't manage, but I honestly speaking, I didn't believe that was doable. We didn't manage to change the American position. It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom. There's a government in Greenland with support from 3/4 of the Greenlandic population. The premier made it very, very clear yesterday that Greenland, for the time being and for foreseeable future, will remain within the kingdom of Denmark. And therefore, this is a common position that we want to work with our American friends and allies, but it must be respectful cooperation, and it must respect the red lines.
Here you'll watch the Danish foreign minister as well talk about how Greenland has been a member of NATO since 1949. Play this clip right here.
Greenland is, through the Kingdom of Denmark, a member of NATO and has been that since the very founding of NATO in 49. And is therefore also covered by Article 5.
I'm going to show you more from that press conference in just a moment, but it's important that you note that Germany is now deploying troops into Greenland. You have Sweden's Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson has announced that several officers from the Swedish armed forces will arrive in Greenland on Wednesday at the request of Denmark in order to support military and security operations on the territory and in the Northern Atlantic under the recently unveiled Operation Arctic Endurance. Denmark is now deploying more special forces and heavy military equipment to Greenland to establish defensive positions and logistical infrastructure ahead of a larger Danish army employment there in response to the United States threats of invasion. That's being coordinated with the Germans, the French, Sweden, and others within the European Union. And the overall takeaway from this disastrous meeting, Denmark's foreign minister saying, we didn't manage to change America's position on Greenland. They want to conquer it. They want to take it with force. You have the White House posting the following meme while the meeting was taking place. Which way, Greenland man? And on the one hand, it shows the United States. On the other hand, it shows a flag of Russia and China. But Greenland is a member of NATO. So this is a false choice that the White House is giving. Greenland and Denmark would be protected by the NATO alliance. But Donald Trump wants to break apart the NATO alliance for Vladimir Putin. This morning, Donald Trump posted, "The United States needs Greenland for the purpose of national security. It is vital for the Golden Dome that we are building. NATO should be leading the way for us to get it. If we don't, Russia or China will, and that is not going to happen. Militarily, without the vast power of the United States, much of which I built during my first term and am now bringing to a new and even higher level, NATO would not be an effective force or deterrent, not even close. They know that, and so do I. NATO becomes a far more formidable and effective force with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Anything less than that is unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter. DJT." Greenland is part of NATO. The United States is part of NATO. You owning it like the predator that you are does not create a safer security environment. It creates a weaker environment and puts the United States at war with Europe. Let's go back to that press conference with Rasmussen. He's there with the Greenland foreign minister. I want you to hear what she has to say as well. Let's play that clip right here.
I think that what we have been saying, that the meeting is been on a respect way, and we have shown where our limits are, and from there I think that it would be very good to look forward, and this high level group that is going to work together, as I'm already saying, that it's all our interest to find the right path. It's all according to the security in the Northern Hemisphere. So I don't want to say more than what we discussed in the closed meeting room, but I would like to have this, how do you say it in English? Hope for a more mutual understanding and trying to find the right balances is equally from all countries.
Now, in terms of the latest Reuters Ipsos poll, is it a good idea for the United States to take Greenland using military force? Only 4% of Americans say yes. Overwhelmingly, people do not want a military invasion of Greenland. Now, while that meeting broke apart pretty quickly, abruptly ended as a fight broke out, essentially between Greenland, Denmark, and the United States, Vance and Rubio saying, "We're conquering you," Donald Trump was holding a press conference in the Oval Office about milk and about how more people need to drink milk. That's what they were doing the press conference on. Donald Trump was falling asleep during this meeting on camera. Here's Donald Trump falling asleep. Play this clip.
And both all the wonderful men to the right who worked so hard on this. Peter Welsh, it is a bipartisan issue, and understanding where we are in this country and how important the health of certainly our children are is so important.
Then during this meeting, Donald Trump asks if milk will help your cognitive abilities. And he's kind of sleeping. He's like, "Milk will help your cognitive abilities, will help your cognitive abilities." Here, play this clip right here.
It's important what that brain is getting during the development. Is it getting soda or is it getting milk?
So milk would help your cognitive ability.
Absolutely. You can tell who's been
Take a
drinking milk.
cognitive test. I've taken a lot of them. I've aced every one of them because I drink milk.
It's good for it, and it shows.
I just want to remind you that leading into this meeting between the foreign ministers of Greenland, Denmark, and in the United States, Rubio and J.D. Vance, Donald Trump told the New York Times that the only check on his power is his own morality, that he doesn't believe he has any checks on who he's going to conquer. Here, play this clip right here.
See any checks on your power on the world stage? Is there anything that could stop you if you wanted to?
Yeah, there's one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop, and that's law. Very good. I don't need international law. I'm not looking to hurt people.
How much time, money, and energy have you spent on health, wellness, and beauty products to look and feel younger and healthier? If you're like me, probably too much. Now, I'm so excited to share with you guys C15 from Fatty 15, the first emerging essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years. Now, it's an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness, and you guessed it, healthy aging. Fatty 15 co-founder Dr. Stephanie Van Watson, she discovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy to continually improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. Now, based on over 100 studies, we now know that C15 strengthens our cells and is a key to healthy aging nutrient, which helps to slow biological aging at the cellular level. Now, in fact, when our cells don't have enough C15, they become fragile and age faster. And when our cells age, our bodies age too. So Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning, patent 100% pure C15 supplement. It's vegan-friendly, free of flavors, allergens, or preservatives. Fatty 15 has 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3s or fish oil. I love Fatty 15. I've personally seen the benefits. Definitely check this stuff out. Best of all, Fatty 15 comes in a gorgeous reusable glass bamboo jar, and refills are shipped right to your door. Now, Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help support your long-term health and wellness, now especially as you age. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/Meidas and using code Meidas at checkout.
Notably, at this press conference, Donald Trump claimed that he got a message from the Ayatollah of Iran, and Iran says they will not be killing any more of the protesters there after it potentially killed as many as 20,000 protesters. We've heard conflicting numbers. There's an internet outage there right now. It could be in the low thousands, as high as 20,000. But Trump says he got the word from the Ayatollah. Things are good now. Here, play this clip right here.
We have been notified and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset, but that's just gotten to me, some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution.
And just checking in on the state regime media, what they're talking about while Donald Trump's threatening to invade Greenland and saying he's got the good old word from the Ayatollah that the killings are going to stop. And he's talking about cognitive exams. This is what they're seriously talking about on state regime media. They're saying that Dr. Oz says that Donald Trump has the highest testosterone ever. Here, play this clip.
I saw this morning, actually, it was Dr. Oz who said that President Trump has the highest testosterone level of any man over 70 that he's ever seen. So you compare...
He knows that?
He actually went on to say, President Trump's going to be really thrilled that I said that. But you compare President Trump to someone... any of the Democratic male leaders, someone like Tim Walz, if you will, Mr. Jazz Hands. You ask any 20-year-old boy, especially on a college campus, who they would rather spend a day golfing with, President Trump or Tim Walz, you have to imagine that majority of them are going to say President Trump.
And then they say, Donald Trump is not a misogynist. Just look at how he treats the women around him. And then Gaines, she's like, he's the worst misogynist, meaning that he's not a misogynist. Huh? Here, play this clip.
Right away. He respects women. He's hired a lot of tremendously talented women. We've interviewed them. We've met them. And my dad, former military, as you know, used to say that the test of a man is how he treats the women in his life. Can he be that alpha and be loving and generous and all those things?
Sweet.
Yeah. They call him a misogynist, but really he's like the worst misogynist ever. Gives women a shot.
In that he isn't one.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Susie Wiles, Tulsi Gabbard, Caroline Levitt, all wonderful women a part of his team.
Yeah. And just what's Gen Z thinking about all of this right now? Gen Z doesn't, they're like, what about us? Okay, you promised that you were going to help us get jobs. You defrauded us, Donald. Yep, he's defrauded lots of people throughout his entire life. Here, play this clip.
Take a look here. Generation Z. John liked that. Gen Z, party ID margin, Dems versus the GOP. In 2024, look at this. It was just a 6-point margin between the Democrats and Republicans. Democrats just led by 6 points. Very small. Remember, Donald Trump did very well for a Republican candidate amongst the youngest part of the electorate. But take a look here, 2025. Hello. A huge widening of the lead for Democrats among Generation Z, tripling their lead on party identification from 6 all the way up to 20. That was, in fact, the largest shift, considerably more so than any other group. Yes, there was a shift in the overall electorate, but this more than double the shift that we saw among the electorate at large towards the Democratic Party.
Okay, and we said it was decisive for Donald Trump. How have opinions shifted toward Donald Trump among this group?
Okay, so this, in some ways, you might say this, this doesn't necessarily apply to Donald Trump. It absolutely does apply to Donald Trump. I mean, he has just fallen off a cliff when it comes to Generation Z. Look at this. Donald Trump's net approval rating in February of 2025. John said it right. Wow.
This was actually a month into the administration.
This was a month into the administration. He was at plus 10 points on the net approval rating. He was on the right side of the ledger. Look at this. Falling off that cliff. That is a drop of 42 points to negative 32 points on the net approval rating amongst Generation Z. My goodness gracious. This, as I said, is a very swingy group, and it has swung very much away from Donald John Trump.
And let me just share with you what a real leader looks like and sounds like. I'm not like on this issue. I'm not trying to fanboy out on France President Emmanuel Macron. Some things I like, some things I don't. But French President Emmanuel Macron back several months back when he visited Greenland. Let me show you what leadership looks like in terms of respecting the sovereignty of countries. Here, play this clip.
Everybody think in France, in the European Union, that Greenland is not to be sold, not to be taken. The situation in Greenland is clearly a wake-up call for all the Europeans. And let me tell you very directly that you are not alone. And when a strategic message is sent to you, I want just for you to know that it's clearly perceived by the Europeans as targeting a European land. And this flag you have here is our common flag. And we know our common values. And we know our long-standing choices. And this is why it's very important for French people and all the European people to convey very clearly this message of solidarity and the fact that we stand with you now, for today, and for tomorrow.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. We appreciate all of your support.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.